What's going on, guys? Carter here with Edge Mindset. Got another video for you. We're gonna tackle a topic, a pretty hotly debated topic. I've spoke on this before in the past, what my opinion is, and I've always kind of taken a middle of the road-ish type stance. But now I'm going all the way to one side pretty strongly, and this has to do with some self-reflection, maybe some maturity in the industry or something like that. But I'll go through what these knives are in case you're interested. Maybe towards the end of the video or partway through, I'll say what these are in case you want to know what they are. But we're going to tackle knife flippers. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they okay? Are they a necessary evil? Do I like them? Do I hate them? How do I feel about knife flippers? And by knife flippers, we're talking about regular individuals, right? Regular people that buy knives at a certain value, and then they sell them for more. Oftentimes, with that seeming to be the primary motivator for purchasing the knife. Now, of course, there's always degrees, right? You've got the extreme knife flipper, and that's somebody who's literally buying knives at a low value. It's either they come across a crazy sale and they jump on it, or they're getting in line at knife shows super early, or they are cutting deals on the back end to get knives for cheaper, with the primary goal being to sell it for more money to make a profit. Next on the layer, you have somebody that bought a knife with the intention of keeping the knife and owning the knife. They got it at a really good deal. However, that happened. But then they go to sell it because whatever, they want to get something else. They just need the money, and they realize they could probably get more than what they paid. So they charge the market value and they get money. They put it up for more money than what they paid. Right, so that's kind of the gamut. Some people say it's all bad. Some people say, well, it's only the first category, the specific knife flippers that are bad. I used to kind of believe that. I used to say I didn't like the people that went out of their way to buy a knife just to resell it to make money. But I was okay if somebody sells it for more than what they paid because they're just looking at the market value. And there's a lot of different reasons why you would sell something for more than what you paid. And it is a little short-sighted to assume you have to sell something for what you paid for because you don't know what the motivation of the original seller is. They may be terrible at photos. They may want to move this thing super fast. They may be like, I don't care. I'm going to fire sell it because I want that money today. So just because they decided to sell it for super cheap, I don't think that obligates you to sell that knife for super cheap. You may have more time. You may be less motivated to sell. You may be better at photos and videos and answering questions. You may be better at cross-posting in different areas to get more exposure. There's a lot of different reasons why that may be the case. In the Strider community, it's pretty frowned upon, which is interesting because the Strider community also has a really big flipper issue. There's more flippers in Striders than it seems like a lot of other groups, and yet the sentiment is that those people are bad. So if you buy a knife for a good deal in the Strider community, it's expected that you return that favor when you go to sell it. Obviously, you don't have to. You're a free agent. You can do what you want. But you're going to be kind of looked down upon if you do that. Whereas if you pass that along again, that value to the next person, you're kind of given a behind-the-scenes gold star in the community, right? You're one of the stand-up guys. You're good to go. Now, I have changed my thought on that because like I said before, I didn't like the first group, the specific buyers and the flippers, and I looked down on them and I thought that was bad. But now I'm kind of okay with everything. I mean, I still somewhat get a little bit sticky with people specifically buying with the sole purpose to sell. But at the end of the day, I don't see why we can look down on them or make them feel like they're doing something bad when we allow merchants and dealers to do the exact same thing. I mean, it's literally the same thing. And kind of what made me really think of this was Striders. And the reason for that is because Striders doesn't have a dealer network anymore, meaning Strider Knives only sells direct. They don't have a network that they work with like they used to in the past. They did way back in the day. Way back in the day, they would sell knives to Blade HQ and Knife Center and Matt T Tactical and Blue Line Gear, all these people, and they had a certain arrangement where they would get them at MSRP and then they would turn around and upsell them for the markup with specific numbers. There's all these rules on what you can or can't do when you're a dealer, how much you can sell it for, how much you can discount, if at all that kind of stuff. They used to have that. They don't anymore. So that means places like Knife Center, which does have Striders, they are buying them just like regular people do. So they're going to the shows bright and early, they're paying full price, and then they're adding a markup on top of it. So basically they're flippers, right? Especially with knives like Striders. And Striders isn't the only one that they do that with. That's how they do it with any company they want to sell that they don't have a dealership relationship with. They act like a flipper. And yet nobody seems to scoff at that. If a retailer does these things where they buy them cheap and then they upcharge, they don't have a problem with it. Same with smaller dealers that just take used pre-owned knives and then sell them. They get them for cheap, right? Because it's an easy way for somebody to sell a knife. It's trusted, and then they upcharge it. Nobody bats an eye. Nobody gets mad at them for not passing those savings on because they understand, well, they're a business. They do this for a living. They need to make that money. But I don't see why that would really be that much different than quote unquote regular flippers, right? It's all kind of a business, whether it's your main business or a little side hustle or whatever the case may be. In theory, everybody's paying taxes on what they make on these knives. Right, guys? Right? If you buy a knife for $500, you sell it for $700, you're supposed to pay taxes on that difference. And I'm sure everybody is. So really, it shouldn't be treated that much different. If you go to a knife show, 6 a.m. line, early bird, pre-sale, you're going to have people waiting in line that want to buy 3 of these knives to flip for a profit. And then you're going to see people like Knife Center in there buying 10 of these knives to flip for a profit. And one is treated like they're the scum of the earth sometimes, and the other one is, oh no, that's cool, it's just Knife Center. I don't know why it would be a double standard between those two people. So that's really what kind of made me change my idea. Now, it does suck when you are trying to get something and you're trying to get it for a good price and people are purchasing it and just upcharging. I get it. I get why you would be angry. That does suck. But I just don't see how we could really be that angry at them. They're kind of playing by the rules that are set forth, and they're doing what they're doing. And sometimes they're providing a service. Like, I've gone to knife shows. I didn't want to get up at 6 a.m. to wait in line for an hour and a half to get my chance to buy something. I honestly, there's a knife show that's in my state. And last year there was something I was after, and I could have done that. I could have paid for the early bird pass, and I could have driven down there at 6 a.m. or maybe even earlier and waited in line and got it. Or what I did was paid an extra $150 and had somebody else do it for me so that I could stroll in when I wanted to and take my leisurely time and also guarantee I was going to get one. So that's what I did. Like, I don't know. I think it's a valuable service, you know, and there's a lot of knife shows I can't get to. And I'm not going to buy a plane ticket to go to Atlanta to get something like this knife, wait in line and still maybe not get it. I would much rather just pay a flipper for them doing that service for me and have them ship it to me. So it kind of depends on your perspective, I think, on what you think of people that do that. I don't honestly have a problem with it. It is what it is. I'm okay with it. I have kind of changed my tune, like I said before, and that's what I think. So what do you guys think about knife flippers? Does that make sense to you? Do you agree with that? Do you partly agree with that? And like I said, let's talk about what these knives are. So this is a Mixed Strider Custom XL Yeti. There's a lot of names here. Yeti, Hamon, Magma, hot hammered handle, anodized with Magma on the handle as well. A lot going on this knife. It's a very special knife. This is a Tanto Sebenza 31. Pretty self-explanatory with micarta inlays. And then here we've got the Paragon Warlock. I don't want to mess that up and scratch my knife down there. Paragon Warlock with titanium handles, anodized purple with the cool hot dog grind on the blade here. So let me know, what do you think of knife flippers down below? I want to hear from you guys. Catch you later.